Namaskar. The Harvard Graduate School of Business Administration started in 1908 and it is 115 years old. Opened in 1987 and it is 36 years old. The Xavier University was established in 2013 and now think of this, 65,000 years ago, the out of Africa migrants made it into India. 45,000 years ago, the first Indians began to use microlithic technology and the population of the subcontinent began to increase dramatically. But wait a minute, why should we care? Does it matter when a group of hunter-gatherers first walked into India? The plain answer is yes, that human history in the subcontinent begins with them. There is another reason also. The first settlers of India are our direct ancestors. The first settlers of India are indeed the foundation of our population and civilization. Without getting their story right, we cannot get the rest of our history or our culture right. From 330 BCE to 1300 BCE, we had the Indus Valley civilization, also known as the Indus civilization or the Harappa civilization. This was a Bronze Age civilization in the northwestern regions of South Asia and was from 2600 BCE to 1900 BCE. Evidence of early agriculture begins to appear in Rajasthan and the Vindhya region of India in this age, and with agriculture we have culture. This is how old Indian culture is. Professor Andrew Franknoy, astronomer, says, and I quote, "Have you ever wondered how fast you're really moving when it seems you're not moving at all?" End of quote. W.S. Gilbert said, "Things are seldom what they seem." As you listen to me, seated comfortably in this hall or elsewhere, you think of yourself at rest, but you are not at rest. The Milky Way as a whole is moving at a velocity of approximately 600 kilometers per second, that is 2.1 million kilometers an hour. And this does not take into account the effects of the Earth's rotation on its own axis, 1600 kilometers per hour. So the roughly 3-4 minutes you have listened to me, you have moved thousands of kilometers without even realizing it. This journey is an odyssey. The Oxford Dictionary describes an odyssey as an eventful or adventurous journey or experience. Culture is the ideas, customs, social behavior of a particular people or society and other manifestations of human intellectual achievement regarded collectively. This odyssey of culture has been long and eventful. The Odyssey of Indian culture refers to the long and rich history of cultural development in India. This includes the various religions, traditions, customs, art, architecture, literature, and other forms of expression that have evolved over thousands of years in the Indian subcontinent. The culture of India has been shaped by its history, geography, and the influences of various invasions and migrations, as well as its spiritual and religious traditions. This diverse cultural heritage is reflected in the country's many languages, festivals, monuments, and it continues to evolve and change over time. Let's take the word Namaste. The word Namaste is an integral part of Indian culture. The Webster's Dictionary says, religious and secular culture come together in the increasing use of the word Namaste in English. The term is associated with both India and yoga. The word comes from Sanskrit and literally means bowing to you or I bow to you and is used as a greeting. Sanskrit is the ancient and classical literary language of India. The Sanskrit phrase Namaste is formed from the conjugation of Namaha, meaning bow or adoration, and the eclectic pronoun meaning to you, te, meaning to you. The noun namaha, in turn, is a derivative of the verb namati, which means he bows. She bends, she bows. Almost all Indian greetings are based on the Anjali mudra, including pranam. Greetings apart from namaste, which is Hindi, Sanskrit and Kannada, are namaskar in Odia, namaskar in Marathi, namaskara in Sanskrit, pranam in Bhojpuri, namaskaram in Telugu and Malayalam, vanakkam in Tamil, namaskar in Bengali, namaskar in Assamese, adab in Urdu, and sat sri akal in Punjabi. Indian culture is the legacy of social norms and customs that originated in or are associated with the ethno-linguistically diverse India. Even though all customs and norms appear to be different, they are all essentially Indian. There is a popular aphorism that depicts India's diversity beautifully. Kos kos pe badle pani, char kos par bani, which means in India, the taste of the water changes every 4 miles and the language changes every 16 miles. Yet India is one. In my real life observations and reading of books, I realized that customs and rituals in India depend on the 4 C's and the 3 R's. The 4 C's being caste, class, color and creed. The 3 R's being race, region and religion. Race, region and religion, caste, class, color and creed. In spite of this apparent multiculturalism, Indian culture is based on the values of respect for women, respect for elders, family unity, honesty, integrity. At the same time, Indian values emphasize education, both formal and informal. Our scriptures and hymns, and indeed Indian culture, glorify the dignity of women. The great sage Manu had said, Yatra naryastu pujyante ramante tatra devtaha yatra tastu na pujyante sarvastrata falakriya. Divinity blossoms where women are honored and worshipped, and wherever women are dishonored, all action, no matter how noble it may be, remains untruthful. You may recollect the legend of Kalidas the poet, the classical Sanskrit author, who is considered ancient India's greatest poet and playwright. His plays and poetry are primarily based on the Vedas, the Ramayana, the Mahabharata and the Purans. Some historians believe that Kalidas hailed from Kalinga. History tells us that Kalidas's wife was called Vidyotama. The meaning of the term, she who excels all in learning. Vidyotama was responsible for the transformation of Kalidas. Kalidas, a shepherd, was married to Vidyotama, a learned and knowledgeable princess, through a conspiracy. On discovering that she had been tricked into marrying a foolish man, Vidyotama banished Kalidas, asking him to acquire scholarship and fame if he desired to continue in their relationship. It is often said, whatever Valmiki could not complete was completed by Kalidas, and whatever was left incomplete by Kalidas was completed by Vidyotama. We see that Indian culture respected the educated wife and put her on a pedestal centuries ago. Indian culture also talks of Chitrangada. You recollect how the wife continuing with a premarital surname after marriage seems such a modern thing to do. But history and the epics and our first Nobel laureate, Rabindranath Tagore, tells us the story of Chitrangada. The point that I quote is from Myths and Legends from India, Great Women, by Sharada Bhanu. This tells us that Manipur, a kingdom in India, during the Mahabharata period, was ruled by a king named Chitravahan. He had a daughter named Chitrangada. For several generations, the dynasty did not have more than one heir. Since Chitravahan had just one daughter, he trained her in warfare. She was well versed in warfare and acquired martial skills to protect the people of her land. In the course of Arjun's wanderings during his period of exile, he visited the ancient kingdom of Manipur. When he visited Chitravahan, the ruler of Manipur, he fell in love with his beautiful daughter Chitrangada. He approached the king to seek her hand in marriage. The king said that since his only child was a daughter, he had made her his heir. This meant that any child she bore with Arjun could not be in the Kuru line of succession because Chitrangada was his only child and heir. Arjun readily agreed to this condition. After having married Chitrangada, Arjun stayed with her for 3 years. When Chitrangada gave birth to a son, Babru Vahana. Now remember, Babru Vahana is the maternal grandchild of Chitravahana. He continues with the surname of his maternal grandfather. Arjun embraced her affectionately and took leave of her and her father to resume his wanderings. So here we have a major example of a woman continuing to retain her premarital surname after marriage and also of women being trained warriors. This example goes back to the Mahabharata. As far as the question of women being trained in the skill of war goes, according to Chanakya's Arthashastra, Chandragupta Maurya, the founder of the Mauryan Empire, had female bodyguards. In Kalidas's Abhigyan Shakuntalam, King Dushyant was always escorted by female bodyguards armed with bows and arrows. India is the place where Hinduism, Buddhism, Jainism, Sikhism and other religions originated. They are collectively known as Indian religions. Indian religions are a major form of world religions along with the Abrahamic ones. India is one of the most religiously and ethnically diverse nations in the world, with some of the most deeply religious societies and cultures. Yet India is one. Religion plays a central and definitive role in the life of many of its people, but we respect and love each other. Sarva Dharma Sambhav is a concept that embodies the equality of the destination of the paths followed by all religions. Although the paths themselves may be different, this concept was embraced by Ahilya Devi Holkar. In practicality, she built mosques, temples, bodh vihars, and taught Sarva Dharma Sambhav and patriotism. The concept originated with Sri Ramakrishna and Swami Vivekanand, but was popularized by Mahatma Gandhi. The phrase was eventually attributed to Mahatma Gandhi, who first used it in September 1930 in his communications to his followers. The concept of Sarva Dharma Sambhav is one of the key tenets of secularism in India. It is often translated as all religions are the same. All paths lead to the same destination in a religion sense, although its literal meaning is closer to all dharmas, all faiths are possible. Indian culture also prides itself on adaptability and light-heartedness. The aspirations of Indians certainly have not diminished because of the large population size of India. We also have an inventive and entrepreneurial spirit. We are very adaptive and creative and are able to visualize huge possibilities for ourselves, our people and our country. We are usually able to manage problems in a cheerful, cooperative and innovative manner. For example, strangers readily help each other during commonplace tasks such as looking for directions or parking a vehicle. Diversity is not just accepted, it is celebrated. Indian food is as diverse and as assorted as India itself. Indian cuisines use several ingredients, deploy a wide range of food preparation styles, cooking techniques and culinary presentations, from salads to sauces, from vegetarian to non-vegetarian, from spicy to bland, from soup to desserts. Indian cuisine is invariably complex. Harold McGee, a favorite of many Michelin-starred chefs, writes, "For sheer inventiveness with the milk itself as the primary ingredient, no country on earth can match India." And when it comes to diversity, the country has, believe it or not, 200 different types of rasagullas, from fruity flavors like strawberry, blackcurrant, raspberry, green apple, watermelon, and pineapple, to offbeat picks such as pan, cappuccino, jeera, green chili, pudina, kala khatta, puchka, and dalchini, among others. You name it, and the flavor is there literally. I end with a quote by Mark Twain. India is the cradle of the human race, the birthplace of human speech, the mother of history, the grandmother of legend, and the great-grandmother of tradition. Our most valuable and most instructive materials in the history of man are treasured up in India only. Thank you very much for this opportunity. Thank you.